Emma, I have to say one thing to you, and that is you are so flipping awesome in this film. And I wanted to know why you decided to do such a fun, imbibing character. Like, she was fabulous. She just kept, ticking along throughout the film.
Well, I think that she's the one who makes you realize how incredibly kind and inclusive this family that she's been befriended by are. It's them, it's their extraordinary sense of community, which is, partly taking responsibility for her, because she's really quite vulnerable. She's got no house, she's got no fat. Her daughter's off making documentaries, and they've just gone, well, I know she's a bit inappropriate from time to time, but let's include her. And that inclusiveness to me is so Asian. Mm-hmm. It's so brilliant, because it's so it's just about this thing of the neighboring wall. You look and you take responsibility, and you include your neighbor. It's just part of the culture, and it's not so much here. We're quite we can be very cold. Mm-hmm. and uninclusive, and that's not. I'm not even sort of talking about the actual aspects of racism. I'm just talking about people in general. They can be very sort of, and that's to do with living in a little island. That's to do with, but at the same time, we have the most fantastic multicultural cities. And I was very lucky because I grew up in London, and so I was surrounded by different cultures from a very early age. But an awful lot of people didn't, and Cath, I think, was one of those. So she's so relatable in that sense, so that this family are not only sort of opening their hearts to her, but they're giving her access that she's never had before to a different kind of, everything about it, the food, the sense of occasion, and the rituals and the festivals, that we've lost in our sort of perhaps over secularized society. So they give her so many gifts.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is that there's so many different takeaways from this film. And one for me being that I'm South Asian and I'm British, born and bred, is I found that, regardless of anything in life, regardless of the things we go through, the undertones of the things that make us human, the communal aspect, the things are that we all want to be loved. We all want loyalty. We want to be understood. By the end of the film, you get a real sense that gets accomplished. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
No, absolutely. I think that it's about the way in which we respond to each other is key to every moment in our lives. It's a very beautiful picture of the different ways in which people respond to one another within families, without families, because of course Zoe's making this documentary and she's trying to be, she's curious, and of course that's the greatest human quality of all, because curiosity is the thing that saves us from bigotry. If we're curious, then we're open. But if we're incurious and we've decided already, that's when we get into real difficulties. And so the film seems to me to present people who are willing really to go that whole way and really accept one another within family, as well as within, friendships that come from two different cultures, completely different cultures. Because somebody just said to me earlier something very, very brilliant, that everyone comes from a different culture, because each family, whether they're all Asian, whether they're all, white, British, whatever, they all have different cultures, I grew up in a theatrical family. That was a culture, and very different to my friend's family, who were teachers, and their culture was different. So actually this word culture, it goes so deep into all parts of our lives, doesn't it?
Absolutely does,
that's
Emma.
One of the reasons why I love this script so much.
And why do you feel
my favourite bit was doing the dancing? I just have to tell you.
You were brilliant, great at your Bhangra moves, absolutely. But I want to ask you, what is the key thing that you hope people get from this film? Because there's so many layers. And for me, it was just this idea behind aligning value systems, because we are all individuals and we are all a part of a community. So there's different value systems associated with both. But at the end of the day, fundamentally as humans, we want people to understand us, and we want to be able to understand others. I got that feeling from this film.
Yeah, me too. I think that's what Shekhar Kapoor really wanted to get across, this sense of the human family, the fact that that's where we live. We have no choice but to live in that way. And as the world gets smaller, that human family has to become much more available to all of us. We've really got to start thinking along these lines in much, much, much more real ways, because of climate change, because of the fact that the earth is getting so much smaller, and we are going to have to live together in a very real way, very, very soon, without the boundaries that we've been used to heretofore. So it's actually in that sense, it's a very inspiring movie.
Yeah,
it's very inviting.
And finally, why should people watch the film? People that aren't into just the layers of personalities, what is it that you feel that they'll get out of it? From my perspective, anyone that's not into the deeper stuff, it's such a fun film.
Yeah, I mean, just go if you feel like, listening to wonderful dialogue. There's wonderful music. It's very, very rich, actually, on every level, and it's also tremendous fun. And I'm deeply inappropriate and thus hilarious. So check it out.
Thank you so much, Emma. You're such a delight. Welcome. I absolutely appreciate it.
So nice to talk to you, Raj.
You too, Emma.
Take care.
Absolutely. You too. Bye-bye.